I said I'd do a quick video about SeNukeX and how I use it. If you have the program, you're familiar with this screen here where you create a spinner article, so you load some huge SpinTax article in here. But what I actually do is I load articles from a file, and I did a video about this before, about injecting content with Content Spiffer, and also grabbing articles for free with Get Article Pro, and then mashing those files together in paragraphs and sentences so you get unique content, and then you inject your links. So what you do is you go to the load article screen, check this box and choose the directory that your articles are in, and then if you go to preview sample articles, you'll find what it's going to look like in here. So if I spin again, and this project I'm doing here is a part of some tests I'm doing, and I'm actually linking to sites that don't belong to me, just because it's easier to test that way rather than setting up new sites. And so I don't mind you seeing this. The one thing I should say about using the load articles option is that unless you have the title tags inside your text files, it's not going to work very well. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so inside the text file, the first line is the title, and you can grab this with Get Article Pro. You can check an option to include article titles in the text file, and you want to make sure you do that, otherwise the first line will be a paragraph in the article, and obviously that's going to be too long for the titles. So make sure you check that option, and that's this option here: include title in file, and then remove links, leave anchors, don't create a new folder for each keyword, and then search only in title so you get the most relevant searches. All this other stuff, you can play around with it and use it how you want. So that's how I get my content. Then I mash it together with Content Spiffer, and then I use a UBot that I've made, and I shall provide that on the forum. And what that does is it goes through every text file in the folder, finds the first line, and then surrounds it in the title tag, because obviously you don't want to do that manually. So I've got a small program that will do that for you, and I'll put that on the forum. The other thing I want to say about SeNukeX is that when you have a subdomain, when you're building Web 2.0s and doing articles and stuff, you want to have a random subdomain, so make sure you put SpinTax in there. And to make it a little more natural, I use a first name, so I have about 20 first names in Spin, and then I have a new SpinTax unit that's last names, and then I have 2 numbers at the end. Which could be interpreted as the year that someone was born, for example. So that's a much more natural subdomain rather than putting I don't know. So some people put in their keywords as subdomains, which obviously looks very, very spammy. And obviously this content here too is spammy, but I wanted to mix authority links into the articles so Google doesn't think that it's the same person trying to link to the same sites. Okay, so hopefully that explains a few of the things I was saying on the forum about using article loading and also using unique content with SeNukeX. And this applies to any Web 2.0 submitter, actually, because Ultimate Daemon also has a text loading function now that the new version came out a few days ago. And I'm not sure about Magic Submitter, I don't use that one. But SeNukeX and Ultimate Daemon both have text loading files. Use it basically, it's much better than just having one massive SpinTax article. Okay, cheers.